Hey writers, it's Mr. Marshall at Stony Lane again. I'm coming to you because I know that you've been working hard on your essays and you've probably chosen a seed idea by now, something that you want to publish. And so it's time for us to start thinking about how we can make our writing better, right? Before we get into our draft. So you're going to do some more writing in your notebooks. Um, and by now you've probably created a plan for your writing, and it probably looks like boxes and bullets, right? Where you have an idea that's up here in a box and bullets that are underneath to support your idea, right? But sometimes what happens is we have boxes and bullets that could be a little bit better, right? Because you've learned in the past that, like the more you zoom in on your writing, kind of like a microscope, the better your writing usually can be. So today, I'm going to show you some ways that you can do that kind of work, okay, where you can zoom in on your boxes and bullets and make them a little bit more zoomed in, so that your writing can be a little bit better, okay? So I have some boxes and bullets that I've been working on alongside you, and I'm actually writing several essays at the same time. And so let me show you my boxes and bullets for one. I'm going to teach you 3 strategies today on how to do this kind of work. All right, strategy number 1 says look for a pattern in your bullets. Look for a pattern in your bullets, because sometimes our bullets can kind of have the same thing going on. If you can find the pattern and make your box better, I'll show you how that goes. Here's one essay that I'm working on. The box, the idea is our school is like a family. Okay, probably lots of you could say the same thing. And so the first bullet says, because the teachers are friends to each other, right? They're really nice to each other. The second says the teachers are good to our students. They try to figure out ways to be nice to our kids and try to help them in lots of different ways besides just their learning. And the third is the teachers help each other with teaching ideas. Okay. And so those are 3 different ways that our school is like a family. It's really a nice school. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to look at my bullets and see, is there something that comes up in all 3 of them that maybe I can notice and then use that information to make my box better. Okay, so let's see. The first one says the teachers are friends to each other. Okay, because they're really nice to each other. The second says the teachers are good to our students. And the third says the teachers help each other with teaching ideas. So yeah, I see that in all 3 of them, it's really about the teachers, isn't it? I've written about the teachers. The kids are great, but in my writing here, I've just written about the teachers. So I'm going to change that. I'm going to take a marker and I'm going to revise this. So here's how it's going to look. So I'm going to take away the word the teachers, I'm going to put it in the box. So I'm going to say the teachers at our school are like a family. Okay. And I'll say they are friends to each other. They are good to their students, and they help each other with their teaching ideas. Okay. See how I did that? I found what was true about all 3, and I took that out of the 3 and I put it right into the box. Okay. Sometimes that'll work. Okay. I could try to think if there's another way, but like I think in the first one, it's about how they act toward people, like they act toward each other. This is how they act toward people, they act toward their students. This is not really how they act toward each other. So that's not really a pattern that I can use from all 3. So, but this is good. Do you see how I did that? I looked for something that was in all 3 bullets and I used that. I took that away and I put it into my box. Now my box is more specific. Okay. So that's one way that you can nurture your boxes and bullets. So you can either pause the video now and go look at your writing and see if that happens in your writing, or you can just keep on playing and you'll see the next strategy. Ready? So here's strategy number 2. Strategy number 2 says make a really heavy bullet into your box. So when I say heavy bullet, that means a bullet that has a lot that you could say about it. Okay, so make a really heavy bullet into your box. So here's another topic that I'm working on. It says teachers are just like learners. teachers are just like learners because they're always learning new things. Like the teachers in our school, in our district, are learning a lot about um, math because we're doing math a different way. They're learning a lot about how to teach on the computer, right? Because everyone's doing that. They're always learning new stuff, right? They have to work together, right? Just like kids have to work together sometimes, teachers have to work together a lot. And the third says when something feels tough, they can't give up, right? That's true for kids, it's true for teachers too. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to see if there's one that I could say a whole lot about and maybe make that into a box. So let's see. I think the first one is one that I could say a whole lot about. So let me try that. I'm going to make a box that says that teachers are always learning just like kids. I'm going to make that into a box. Teachers are always learning just like kids. So one way is like they're learning a new math program, right? We're starting a new way of teaching math. They're learning about teaching in distance learning. That means learning on the computer, because that's something that these teachers have never done before. And teachers are learning, they're always learning, they're always going to workshops and learning days, right? Workshops and learning days. And that's where they learn about all sorts of new stuff. So I can make that my essay, and like now it's so much more zoomed in, it's so much more specific. So what I just did, right, is I took my heavy bullet and I made it into a box with 3 new bullets. Okay, so why don't you look at your writing and see if you can do that, and then we'll come right back. Okay, so here's the third way that we can sort of nurture our boxes and bullets. It's like this. Here's strategy number 3. Write more about a really light bullet. Okay, so remember before, a heavy bullet was one that had a lot of ideas inside it. A light bullet is one that you don't have a lot to say about yet. Okay, you haven't written a lot about it in your notebook and you're not quite sure what that is. So let's take a look. Here's one more topic that I'm working on. I've been busy as a writer. So it says, like, now my son is in 6th grade and he wants to get a hamster. And we told him that he's got to get ready to buy this hamster by like doing a lot of like research first. And so we've been thinking a lot about buying a hamster. So my box says having a hamster can be a lot of work. And so the first bullet says there are lots of supplies to buy because we're buying all sorts of, wood chips and other things that we need to buy for the hamster. You have to make sure that it's safe, right? You have to make sure that the hamster is in a place where it can be safe, right? So it's not near the heater, or it's not in a place where it can crawl out and get hurt, right? And you have to make sure that it has toys. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to think of, is there a bullet that I don't have a lot to say about just yet? Okay. So here we go. There are lots of supplies to buy. Well, I could talk about that because we wanted to buy, you have to buy like a tank or a box that it can live in. You have to buy wood chips. You have to buy food and a water bottle. You have to buy like a hamster wheel, right? So I can have a lot that I can say about that. There's a lot of things to buy. You have to make sure that it's safe. Well, right, because you have to think about where you put this hamster in your house. Like, are you going to put it in your bedroom? And is it safe in there? Is it away from any other pets that you might have? Is it away from any babies that might want to squeeze it to death, right? Is it near the heater or anything like that? So that's something to think about. And you have to make sure that it has toys. I know there's a hamster wheel, but I don't really know a lot of other toys that it can have. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in my notebook now, and I'm going to try and just write about toys that I can think of. And if I can't think of any, I can try to find out what kind of toys there are, or maybe I'll think of a different bullet for my third bullet. Okay, so you see what that is? That's strategy number 3. Write more about a really light bullet. Okay, so those are 3 ways that you can make your boxes and bullets better and more zoomed in as you're preparing to write your essay. So let's remember our 3 strategies. Look for a pattern in your bullets. Make a really heavy bullet into your box. Or write more about a really light bullet. Try those out and see if that makes your writing any better or more zoomed in or more specific. And I can't wait to read your essays. I'll see you next time.